Hey there and welcome back. In this video we're going to show you how to balance the prop. But first you have a choice of propellers. 12.5 was what was recommended by Great Planes for this airplane. 12.7 or 12.8 was recommended by the manufacturer OS of the engine for the 55. And so 12.5, 12.6, 12.7, 12.8 all are probably going to do okay. For this airplane, I think I'm going to start with the 12.6. It's an APC prop, 12.6. And first thing I got to do is remove the tag from it. Props are cheap. I always carry extras. And so I'm going to start with the 12.6. For the maiden flight. If I like it, I'll keep it. If I don't, I may try the 12.7, but we'll see. The other thing we're going to do is balance it, and I use the Top Flight Precision Magnetic Balancer for this, and it works very well. So let me get it ready, and I'll show you how it works. Okay. The balance is quite handy. It's easy to assemble. You just got two rods. You got to make sure they're in all the way in the legs. However, you can actually balance the centerpiece. And when I balance it, I mark it with two marks on each side with a gold Sharpie marker. And that way, you can balance it just by twisting these around to find where it is the best point for balance. And you just put it up there. And when you're balancing this, notice one side is touching and one side is not touching the other side. Okay, so this touches, that's held by the magnet, but there's a small gap. It's probably, just an 1/8 of an inch. Okay, as long as there's a little gap, that's all that matters. So if you spin this without, it rotates very nicely and ends up in the same point every time. That's okay. So now to balance the prop, I'm going to put the prop on the shaft and have those two marks lined up. Okay. And then we'll see how well it bounces. Okay, so I'm just going to tap it lightly, let it go around and around a bit, and where she stops, nobody knows. So we'll see. You want it to be this way without any, with not favoring one side much more than the other. And okay, it looks like it's about ready to stop. The fact that it's moving slowly right now is a good sign. So it means the prop is not too far out of balance. When you see it really slow down like this and take a long time for the oscillations to stop, it means it's pretty well balanced. Okay. And we could sit here and watch it the rest of the day. The other thing you have to worry about here is, I'm going to go ahead and stop it and see how it looks. This prop balance, the maximum it can do is 12 inches. And so it sometimes will hit the bar down there, and you just have to make sure it's up high enough here so it doesn't hit the bar. And I'm going to call that pretty well balanced. The other thing I'm going to do here is rotate the center to where I have my marks that are up at the top. And we'll see if that actually helps with the balance, because you don't want the balance to be affected by the center. Okay, that's a well balanced prop. Not going to do anything to it. Oops. You can add weights. If you really have a bad prop and you want to add weights, you can add a weight by a piece of lead weight in there by gluing it together. The other thing you can do is balance the prop in the alternate direction. And we'll see if it has any favoritism that way. And it doesn't. So I think this is a well-balanced prop, and we're going to use it. All you're really looking for is that it slows down and doesn't oscillate quickly with one blade to the bottom. And so that's what you're looking for. Here we go. Okay. And as long as that oscillates back up like it does. All right, we got a balanced prop. Thank you very much. Okay, here's another tip about balancing props. Sometimes I will take a broad Sharpie black marker and color the tips. When I color both tips, it means that it's balanced. Just like they used to do with old wooden props in the old-timey World War I type airplanes or whatever. They would paint the tips, and the reason they paint the tips is that would balance the prop. So you can actually add Sharpie marker several times on one end if it's balanced. If it's slightly out of balance, you can actually color these with a Sharpie marker and get them in balance. It won't do one that's too far out of balance. That's what the hub on the back side here is for, to add weights if you need to. But it is possible to paint these a little bit to get them well balanced. This one didn't need it. So that's why I put color on both sides. You can also see it better when it's turning. Just keep your fingers away from it.